It is Tuesday, which of course means it's time to answer the questions that you guys send in every single week on the BrendenPlayz forums at BrendenPlayz.com/forums or in the YouTube comment section down below. I tell you what though, this has been a pretty slow week in wrestling. Not a lot that really happened this week. Monday Night Raw was pretty lackluster, I gotta say. There's a couple of good things about Raw, but other than that, really a very forgettable show, and there wasn't really much news that happened, that at least not off the top of my head anyways, so wasn't really a lot to talk about this week, but luckily for me, we have an absolute stack, a ton of questions to answer this week. We have a lot of voicemails. I want to thank everyone that's been sending in the voicemails this week. That was awesome. Really cool seeing you, hearing your voices, and you know, I think we got people from Spain, we got people from the United States, of course, people from all around the world. It's pretty crazy. So we'll play them later on, obviously, and we'll get to know where everyone was from. Some people forgot to leave their name and whatever, but that's fine. But hopefully for the next couple episodes, you guys can remember to leave your name. That would be fantastic, because at least I know who you are. I know you leave your name when, you know, it says your name and email, I think it is, when you do go to submit your question, but it'd be also cool to have you say your name in the voicemail so I don't have to go and check who you were. So, but before we get into the show this week, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder of where you can follow me on Twitter, of course at BrendenPlayz, Facebook.com/BrendenPlayz official, the website, you guys know what it is, BrendenPlayz.com. And as well as that, we do have t-shirts on the website as well. So if you go to BrendenPlayz.com, you can go to merchandise and you get yourself a BrendenPlayz t-shirt. Only $20, very cheap, really helps and supports the show. So I really appreciate everyone that has gone ahead and gotten themselves a shirt. That means the world to me. So thanks to everyone. I need to go back to start shouting out everyone that's been buying the shirts. So next week, I'm going to shout out everyone that's gotten a shirt. I think Bashka and Samir, my good friends on the forums, they've got shirts. Smith as well. So I think that might be it. So I think that pretty much covers it anyway. So there we go. But definitely if you buy a shirt, I'll give you a quick shout out on the show. As well as that, of course, if you want to leave a question for the next episode, you can do that by leaving a comment in the comment section on the YouTube video, this YouTube video. Or if you are on iTunes or anywhere else, you can go ahead and leave a question on the forums, BrendenPlayz.com/forums. There's an official Let's Talk Tuesday thread there. And as well as that, the brand new voicemail feature that has just been fantastic so far. You can do that on the website, BrendenPlayz.com. There's a big orange button. A lot of people are confused. Where is it? How do I submit a voice question? There's a huge orange button. I explained all the details last week, but there's a big orange button on the right-hand side of the page. And there's also, if you go on any other page other than the home page, there's like a grey little bar on the right-hand side of the page. It'll say, Let's Talk Tuesday, submit a question or something. You can click on that as well, and that should work as well. So, couple of easy ways to submit questions for the show, and the more questions the better. I mean, more things to talk about, more things to get into, so that's great. But we're going to get to Raw in a moment. Before we get to Raw, I just want to give you guys a quick update on where is TLC, the pay-per-view. Obviously you guys have been hammering me with questions all week. Where is the pay-per-view? You said it'll be up on Sunday. Look, that was the plan, that was the aim, but what happened was that I had a friend come over for about 2 days. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't plan for that. I thought maybe he might come over for a night, but he came over for 2 nights, and we gamed, we had a good time, whatever. But I didn't expect that, so that kind of threw up my plans a little bit. And plus, I hadn't quite finished it yet before he came, so that kind of threw off my plans. But I've pretty much done it now. By the time you hear this video or listen to this podcast, I'm going to have finished TLC, so that's great. But the problem with TLC is it's going to take a long time to render. It probably will take nearly a day to render. And also, it'll take probably nearly a day to upload. So, I would love to say it's going to be out on Thursday. So, that's the plan right now. I'm hoping it may be sooner than that. I'm hoping, depending... It really all depends on render and upload times from now on. The video will be done. It just depends on how long those things take. And it's going to be about 2 hours long, so it probably will take a while. So unfortunately, that's the waiting game, and having shitty internet and a slow laptop at the moment. My laptop is really slowing down. I'm trying to save up and get myself a new PC, but getting a good PC does cost quite a bit of money, and I'm a broke college kid. I don't have a job or anything like that. I use YouTube as a bit of pocket money to help pay for some things. So a bit of saving up needs to be done, and so hopefully in the next few months I can get myself an upgrade. But yeah, definitely trying and working my hardest to get TLC out ASAP for you guys. As well as that, I've had the GM mode series that's just gone up. 2 episodes on that out already. I really want to thank everyone that's been getting on board in that GM mode series. Had a lot of fun making those videos, and I tell you what, I'm going to make a lot of them because playing that game just brings back so many great memories, and I just have so much fun playing that game. And I think you guys can see that, when I'm playing and, commentating and, doing my thing on the videos. I think you guys really can see that I'm enjoying it, and I think that helps you guys as well to enjoy that. So it's just a really, really damn good game. Amazing game, and I really like the roster we've got. Obviously, we've got a few changes I want to make as time goes by. I didn't realize how many guys and how many different tag teams I could have made. All these different combinations I kind of missed out on. You guys were all hammering me in the comments section saying, you should do this, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. That's a great idea. I should be doing that. So I'm going to try and put those changes in the next coming weeks. But definitely expect a lot of GM mode in the next few weeks. As well as that, of course, Here Comes the Pain is another idea that I've brought to the table, and I'm just waiting on everyone to vote on which superstar they want me to play as. At the moment, Brock Lesnar is in the lead with over 250 votes in total on the poll. I think Brock is, 29% leading the poll. Randy Orton's the runner-up on that. I don't really want to play as Brock Lesnar because I get the feeling that so many other people have already done that before me. I wanted to play as Randy Orton. I thought, yeah, okay, a young Randy Orton could be kind of cool. So I was either hoping Randy Orton Batista would win that poll, but at the moment Brock Lesnar is winning it. I would like to play as Randy, but I guess if the people want to see Brock Lesnar, then I guess the people are going to get Brock Lesnar. But I just feel as though so many other people may have done Brock Lesnar before me. So I may be wrong. I haven't actually checked that, but I would definitely assume I think Brock's the best in the game, so I'm guessing that is the fact. But yeah, so I would like to do something a little bit different, so maybe I don't know. I mean, if the people do vote for Brock Lesnar, I guess I better do Brock Lesnar for them. But definitely vote for that. That poll will probably end in a day or two, so get on the website, BrendenPlayz.com. On the right-hand side of the page, where the Let's Talk Tuesday voicemail button is, it's above that. There will be a poll there, and you can vote on who you want me to play as in Here Comes the Pain, which is going to be a really cool series too. I've never played Here Comes the Pain season mode, so it's going to be a whole new experience for me. So I think that's going to make it really, really fun for all you guys to see. And once we get through Here Comes the Pain, we can go back even further. We got Just Bring It, Shut Your Mouth, and then we can play. I got all the PS1 games as well. I got a hell of a lot of games we can play, and we could even do like a season mode or like a playthrough. Or I think it's season mode on 2006 SmackDown vs. Raw, 2005. We got all those games. We could do all of them. So it just opens up a whole world of opportunities having the PS2 all set up, and it's really fantastic that I've got all that and I've got all these games, and really exciting to bring a lot of different content to the channel because these older games are great. And I'm going to admit right now, I don't really enjoy playing My Career as much as I would like to. I think My Career is decent at best, but when you go back and you play these other games, the season mode on it is fantastic. It's really a lot of fun. So I think I'm very much so looking forward to that. It just kind of raises the point as well, what's the future for my Career mode series? I mean, with this GM mode, Here Comes the Pain, and Universe mode really taking up a lot of time. Of course, Let's Talk Tuesday as well. I'm going to have 5 series going on. I think My Career may be the one that takes a bit of a hit. So I would like to finish My Career mode, but I just realized I'm not getting anywhere with it. So I'm a little frustrated with it right now. I'd like to get a move on it and get some things rolling and finish it off. So maybe I'll try and grind it out and finish it out and get those videos up for you. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a stack of My Career videos at one time. Maybe I'll upload 10 at a time or something like that, and get heaps out for you guys and try to finish that series off. But definitely looking forward to playing these other games. It's going to be a nice fresh breath of air. Yeah, there you go. So I'm really looking forward to that. But it's going to be a very busy week. A lot of videos, and I think next month for me is going to be very busy in terms of videos because I really want to make a lot of videos for you guys. Obviously, rendering and uploading is a problem for me, and that's why videos are coming out later than I would normally have them come out, because the upload time is going to take, 2-3 times as long as it would because I'm at a different location right now. But I'm definitely going to be trying all week to get you guys some videos out and get TLC done. I know a lot of you guys really, really want to see it, and I really want to give it to you guys. I think it's a really good show. I'm trying to make it the best I possibly can, and I think you guys will definitely enjoy it. Alright, so let's get into this week's Monday Night Raw, and I really only have 2 points to make about Monday Night Raw. That's why I said I don't really have a lot to talk about Raw. The first one was Brock Lesnar. He came out and, had the promo at the beginning of the show, whatever. But, Brock Lesnar breaking the card. We all kind of knew that was going to happen. We all kind of sensed that this card coming out it's going to happen. It's going to happen, They can't go around and drive the car around all show and show how great it is and then bring it out on the stage for nothing to happen. You kind of knew, okay, we know where this is going. I personally thought Brock Lesnar would show how amazingly strong he was and pick the whole car up, like lift it up and throw it on its back, but they'd have to probably gimmick it somehow. I don't know, it's a pretty damn heavy car. I'd say a couple of tons or something like that. I don't know. So maybe that's not actually possible. But it's Brock Lesnar. You never know what he can do. But that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but he got an axe out, and that was pretty cool. Just smashed the shit out of the car. So that was fantastic. And then he, poor Jamie Noble. He got rammed into the car, I think. And Joey Mercury took a belly-to-belly suplex on the car, and cracked the windscreen. So that was a really awesome segment. Seth Rollins, damn it, he ran away again. I was really hoping that Brock Lesnar would get his hands on him and beat him up, but there you go. That's a good build up towards the pay-per-view. Seth Rollins calling Lesnar out, then running away like a little bitch. That means now that when we get to the pay-per-view, everyone's going to want to see Seth Rollins get his ass whooped, and I certainly do. I think Brock Lesnar will definitely kick Seth Rollins' ass. I don't know whether he'll win the match or not. I get the feeling that there will be a fuck finish. I'm hoping, well, I don't know. I don't really want to see Brock as champion at this point. I just don't. I think we saw that last year, and it was okay. It wasn't great because Brock wasn't there every week. It's cool. It's great to see our champion there every week. You don't appreciate it until it's gone. And when it was gone, it was like, wow, we have all these pay-per-views, and we have no champion to main event them. They didn't even use the IC or the US title to main event either. They just kind of went, oh fuck it, we'll have Cena main event doing whatever the hell he's doing. So it just kind of sucked. It just was missing something. It just wasn't good. So now that they're having the title on every week, while Seth Rollins is probably being a pretty shitty champion right now, I enjoy Seth Rollins, but obviously his credibility as a champion is out the window. But I just feel as though him having the title on Raw every single week is much better than not having it. It just adds to the show. It's easy to build around, and you want to see the title defended as much as possible, and having the championship defended at every pay-per-view gives you a good reason to watch each pay-per-view, because are you really going to tune in when there's no world title match? Like, what really is there to look forward to? Unless they have a really compelling storyline going, which they didn't do, what's the point? What is there to watch? There really wasn't anything to check out. Really wasn't anything going, oh my god, I have to tune in to see this match. There really wasn't. It wasn't like, oh my god, the IC title's on the line, and we got John Cena and Randy Orton feuding over it. Well, maybe that's not a great idea, but, we got these two great superstars feuding over it, and this huge feud, this is going to be awesome, the IC titles are elevated. No, it wasn't anything like that. We had, Bad News fucking Barrett, and The Miz, and Luke Harper, and Dolph Ziggler, are these guys that really aren't going anywhere holding that title and not really giving it a chance. Now, this year, though, they're really trying to elevate the IC and the US title. They've done that successfully with the US title. Now, if Daniel Bryan didn't get injured, I really feel as though they would have done that with the IC title. I just feel as though Ryback, obviously feuding with The Miz and Big Show, isn't really getting that opportunity. I think Ryback as a champion is good. I like that. But I just feel as though definitely the US Championship is much better at this point. But, look, anyways, let's finish up the point. Brock Lesnar, that was a great segment. Easily the best moment of Raw, and it's really the only moment that I kind of remember on Raw. There really wasn't much else to talk about. Lesnar being on the show was great, and I got another point, and this just came popped in my head. I didn't have this written down, but Rusev and Dolph Ziggler once again involved in another little segment. This time they got it right. This time it was a lot better than what it should have been. It was a lot better than what it was last week, because last week was just a catastrophe. This week was better. It wasn't great, but it was better. Lana's still coming out dressed exactly like Rusev had her dress, except for her hair is somewhat down. I mean, Lana getting a little bit physical, okay, yeah, sure. But we don't really care. I mean, a Summer Rae she's taken on, who really gives a shit? But Rusev taking out Ziggler, taking up the cast, and saying, I'm healed, and then beating the shit out of him was fantastic. I really wanted to see him in the Accolade, though. I didn't know why he didn't put that in. He should have put that in and just had Ziggler pass out. I don't know why he didn't do that. Well, was his injury not... Was he not 100% to do that? I mean, he kicked Ziggler in the head with a boot on, so why couldn't he put the Accolade in? I don't know. But that was the only thing that was missing from that segment for me. I mean, Ziggler was down. I was just waiting for him to put it in, and then have all the referees come out and try and take Rusev, off Ziggler, and then have Lana sit there and beg him, and Rusev would basically say, you did this to Ziggler, this is your fault, this is all your fault, and keep doing it. I don't know, something like that. But it didn't happen. But Ziggler getting his ass kicked was good. Great. I kind of almost felt bad for Dolph, which is a good thing. I kind of felt a little bit bad for him. But I also, on the other hand, I really wanted to see Rusev kick his ass. Because you think about it, you look at the storyline. Ziggler takes Rusev's woman. And then he's flaunting her in front of Rusev, kissing her and showing her off like he does. He's a show-off. He's showing Lana off in front of Rusev. Who's the bad guy here? Is it Rusev? Yes, he treated Lana like shit, but here's Ziggler flaunting off this hot woman in front of this poor bastard who just lost, who just had a breakup. Well, to me, Ziggler's been a bit of a dick. So when Rusev beat up Ziggler, I was kind of like, okay, that's good. I'm happy that Rusev did that. But on the other hand, a little bit of me was like, oh man, Ziggler's getting beat up pretty bad. I think somebody should help. Somebody should help pull Ziggler out here. But yeah, I mean, it was better than last week. Much better than last week. It wasn't a catastrophe this week, but still, this storyline sucks. This storyline is bad. This storyline, they need to wrap it up. I mean, if Rusev is 100% now, have this matchup at Battleground, have Rusev win, and then just move it on. And get Lana, honestly, they should have this match at Battleground and just have Lana turn on Ziggler and go back with Rusev, and then have another match at SummerSlam, and then Rusev beats the shit out of Ziggler again and moves on to something else. Get Lana back with Rusev. It just doesn't, Rusev needs Lana, and Lana without Rusev what is she, like? She's still doing exactly the same thing. She's still speaking like a fake Russian, and it's just awful. Awful. Why? Unless they're going to completely drastically change Lana, then what's the point of having a Ziggler? You got a guy like Dolph Ziggler, you think he can't influence Lana to change what she looks like a little bit and do what she wants? I mean, what's going on? I mean, Ziggler comes out like he wants to be in Steel Panther every single week, and Lana comes out like she's ready to go into a business meeting. So I don't know what's going on, but something like they've got to change that. They've got to fix that storyline or drop it because it's just bad. Alright, so the final point I really have, well, actually, before I get that, Bad News Barrett and R-Truth again, Jesus Christ, that almost made me turn Raw off. I was almost done. How many times have we seen this match, and how many times has it just bored the shit out of me? Too many times. Too many. I mean, we've seen this match a couple times on pay-per-view and the pre-shows, and we've seen it 1,000 times on Raw. I don't watch SmackDown, so I'm probably sure we've seen it on SmackDown too, but oh my god, I'm just why do we need to keep seeing this? And what are they feuding over? Who's the king? I mean, none of them should be king. Bad News Barrett is awful. Awful. He is the number one man on my shit list right now. He is the number one guy who I see him and I almost say, look, I'm done. I can't watch Raw anymore. I flipped the channel when he was on. I flipped the channel. I think there was a footy show on. I was just watching that, and then I flicked back, and he and R-Truth were still wrestling. So I flicked back, and when he was done, I came back and watched Raw. I just cannot watch Bad News Barrett at this point. This whole King Barrett gimmick is awful. And look, I'm going to be honest. I somewhat at least enjoyed Bad News Barrett. The Bad News Barrett. I'm afraid I got bad news. That was okay. That was the only time I've actually enjoyed Bad News Barrett. But him as King Barrett sucks. Absolutely awful. And to me, King of the Ring is officially done. King Barrett has officially finished King of the Ring. Do not bring it back. There's no point. King Sheamus, that was enough to kill it for 5 years. King Barrett was enough to kill it forever, because what's the point? You know, they pushed Barrett for 2 weeks as King, now he's an absolute joke. And I would be happy to see Bad News Barrett go, because he sucks. I just don't care, but I know people enjoy Bad News Barrett for some weird reason, and I don't see it. I just don't see what they like about Bad News Barrett. He's just not for me. But, look, at least give us something different with Barrett, but whatever. So he's number one on the shit list. So Adam Rose, step aside, because Adam Rose at least isn't on my TV anymore. So Bad News Barrett has taken number one spot. And finally, Cesaro versus John Cena in the main event. Now, this was a great match. This is a really good match. I don't know what was better this week or last week, but it was a fun match. I liked how they had a bit of continuity. You know, Cena almost lost last week, but it was Owens who interfered. This time they had Cesaro get his rematch and a main event at Raw. So Cesaro main event at Raw. So that was a nice welcome change, and they had a great match. This time Owens did not interfere, so I guess that kind of puts Cesaro out of the picture. You know, I thought actually when Cesaro got the sharpshooter in, I was expecting Owens to come out again and screw him over again, and maybe that would have led to a match between Owens and Cesaro next week on Raw. But it didn't happen. Instead, Owens tried to take out Cena after the match, and Cena successfully evaded Owens and gave him an attitude adjustment. So that just was a great way to make Owens look horrible. A sneak attack from behind, and he still can't get the better of Cena, who just had a 20-minute match. Okay. But great match between these two, and I don't know, what are they doing with Cesaro? Is this just a couple-week thing? You know, okay, we know Cesaro is fantastic, let's give him a match against Cena. They'll put on a great match, and then we'll just go back to doing nothing with Cesaro. Or are they going to say, okay, this guy is good, let's make him look good against Cena, we might actually start to do something with this guy. Now, obviously Tyson Kidd is out for a year, so Cesaro has to become a singles competitor again, and it's time they actually start building this guy up. So perhaps they will start to push him. I don't know, he's still a babyface, so I think he's got great potential. Obviously he has the swing, which is a fantastic move. His moveset is exciting. I think he's one of the best and most entertaining guys to watch in the ring in the WWE right now. I personally liked him, and they also gave him a bit of mic time on Raw, so that was different. I mean, was his mic work great? It was okay. I mean, it just didn't seem all that believable. That's his problem to me. When he talks, it just doesn't seem all that believable in what he's saying. But, you know, he's not a bad promo cutter. I think he's decent, but I mean, he's not as bad as like Vince McMahon would probably say that he is. Like, this guy has absolutely no personality. I don't think so. I think Cesaro has personality. I just think he hasn't been given much of a chance to prove it, or they've given him a stupid gimmick to go along with it. You know, think about it. How many, you know, at one point he was German, I think, and now he was Swiss, and then he was yodeling, and then I don't know, he was in the Real Americans, so he was now an American patriot. We don't know what the fuck Cesaro is, and how many times they've changed him around to be an absolute goof. Why can't we just let him be himself? Let the guy be himself, and maybe he might be able to show some personality. So, and why does he even need to show that much personality anyway? Let his in-ring work do the talking. Why does everyone have to cut a 25-minute promo? They don't have to. Not everyone has to be great on the mic. That's why managers are there. And unfortunately, WWE doesn't have any managers anymore. Only Paul Heyman and a couple others. But that's why managers were made. But a guy like Cesaro has personality with his in-ring work. I think a guy like Cesaro shows us what he can do and what he's all about in the ring. We don't need to see him come out and cut a promo for 10 minutes. It'd be good for him to do that. Obviously, if he could, then he definitely would be a lot higher on the card than he is, but I still think Cesaro has a lot of great potential. I honestly can see him being in the main event. You know, his wrestling ability is just out of this world. He is just a freak of nature. He's just unbelievable to watch. The shit he can do in the ring is just unbelievable. Fantastic. And that whole squat thing with Cena doing the suplex and squatting, and held him up for like a good 10 seconds too, and then squatted. That was just brilliant. The Cesaro, I don't know why this guy is not getting used more than he is. I've always been a fan since day one. Cesaro impressed me. I thought Cesaro had potential, and I've always liked the guy, but it's just been very difficult to enjoy his work at some points because of the crap they've been giving him. You know, the Tyson Kidd and Cesaro tag team was really working out well, and it's so unfortunate that they had to break that up, for the time being. But I think Cesaro could really benefit from this and really go on to bigger and better things if they let him. Given the opportunity, he could easily be at the top of the card, in my opinion. I think he's great. It should have happened last year. They had all the momentum, had Paul Heyman by his side. Now, I still thought he should have been babyface then. He should have turned after winning the Battle Royal at WrestleMania, but whatever. If they had turned him babyface and let him go from there and let the swing prosper, Cesaro would have been a whole different man. But instead, they just went the other way. It just bombed and it sucked. Hopefully, they can make a second chance out of Cesaro and get him somewhere good, because I think the guy deserves it. And I really, really enjoyed his match on Raw, and I can honestly say I enjoy most of Cesaro's matches. So let's hope something happens with Cesaro, and God knows we need another top superstar coming through. We've got a few guys that are on the cusp, but I think Cesaro should be one of those guys along with them. And that's pretty much it for Monday Night Raw. That's pretty much all I have. I mean, like I said, pretty lackluster show. It wasn't really a lot to talk about. Just a couple of points. I mean, Battleground's a couple of weeks away. I want to talk about right now the Beast in the East show. So that happened on Saturday. And now, tell you what, watching wrestling at nighttime, when it was live, was fantastic. I don't think the Americans really appreciate it. I mean, I wake up for 10 o'clock to watch Raw every morning, and I did that today. I woke up at 10, I watched Raw, and Raw finishes at like 1 o'clock. I don't know, is it 1? Yeah, 1 o'clock. Finishes at like 1 o'clock, whatever. It's okay, it's not too bad, but, obviously I feel for the UK guys getting up at 1 a.m. and finishing it up at 4. That's pretty bad. I would probably do that. I think I normally go to bed pretty late anyway, so that's not too much of a worry for me. I would probably rather prefer that than 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. But it felt nice to be able to flick on a pay-per-view at 7:30 at night and watch it. Unfortunately, I had a rugby league game I wanted to watch at the same time, so I had to make the choice. I had to make the decision. Now, this is probably what a lot of Americans have to do. Do we watch football, do we watch baseball, or watch Raw? I don't know. So unfortunately, I had the decision this week. I had to watch rugby or rugby league or wrestling. Unfortunately, for wrestling, it took second place. So I watched the league game, and then after that, I put the Beast in the East on. I had a friend over as well, like I said. So it was pretty fun to watch it with him, and he doesn't really watch wrestling. He's a very casual viewer, so it was kind of interesting to get his perspective on things. But definitely it was a good show, and obviously Brock Lesnar murdering Kofi Kingston was fantastic. That was great. I really, really enjoyed that. I knew that was always what it was going to be, a 3-minute squash match, and then the New Day coming out and getting their ass handed to them. I knew that's exactly what was going to happen, and that's exactly what should happen, so it was good. And obviously the match of the night, before we get there actually, Chris Jericho and Neville had a really good match as well. I really, really enjoyed that. It was great to see Jericho back in the ring, and with Neville as well. I thought that was a good pairing. Jericho looked pretty good. I mean, he looked a bit rusty and it looked a bit gassed at some points, but in the end, he still put on a good performance, and the guy hasn't been in the ring all that much, and ring rust is definitely a real thing. And I'm sure if he had a few more matches before this, he'd be fine. But he probably only had a handful of matches coming into this one, so maybe a bit of rust there. But he was still very good, and I still definitely enjoyed that matchup with Neville. And obviously, the match of the night was Owens versus Balor for the NXT Championship, and that match was great. Now, actually, my highlight of the match was Kevin Owens getting the flowers at the beginning ceremony thing and throwing them outside. That was hysterical. I was laughing my ass off. I thought that was fantastic. Highlight of the night for me, that one. That was brilliant. Balor winning, I think we all kind of expected this. The whole build-up towards it pretty much suggested he was going to win it. That was the right call. I think Owens now up in the main roster full-time and probably going to win the US Championship at Battleground. He doesn't need the NXT title. So the NXT title is a developmental title after all. It's still a developmental territory. I think a lot of people forget that. NXT is a developmental territory. And just like a quick point on that as well, when people come on NXT and they're not all that great, of course they're not going to be great. They're developmental wrestlers. Some people coming in from the indies, yes, they're going to be great. They've had all this experience, but they breed and they bring out these people that they're homegrown talent, and obviously with 2 years experience, they're not going to be anywhere near as good as a Finn Balor with 10 years experience, are they? So just thought I'd mention that, a quick mention, like, people complaining, you know, I think Dana Brooke is one of the examples. I think she's quite new. I don't know. I don't really watch NXT on a regular basis, but I'm hearing things that Dana Brooke kind of sucks and she's new and whatever. Well, of course she's going to suck because she hasn't had much experience. You know, you can only be as good as the amount of experience that you've got, unless you're a guy like Kurt Angle who just picks it up amazingly quick, and then within 6 months you're incredible. You know, not everyone's a Kurt Angle, so it will take time for some people to grow and develop, and that's why NXT is there. It's, after all, a developmental territory, and people come in, they learn the craft, they learn how the WWE way, and then they move up, or they stay in there until they're good enough to move up. And some people move up quickly, some don't. It just depends on how good you are, and you know, some people take longer than others. So I think just people being negative on people in NXT is unfair in a way, because they are there to learn, and you know, probably if they are on TV, they should be the better of the crop, and that's, for the most part, yes, they are. But sometimes you'll have a few exceptions who, you know, they want to bring a few people on TV and get them going, and they may not be quite there yet. And you just have to kind of, I think you got to be a bit generous on them, and you know, don't be so harsh on some people, especially, you know, when they're learning. You know, especially they're kind of new. You know, they're learning, and within time they will get better. And not everybody is amazing, you know, not everybody's a Shawn Michaels overnight. You know, nobody's really that. It takes time. So I just thought I'd say that. But obviously, Owens and Balor, going back to it, great match, really enjoyed it. Balor getting the victory was the right decision. So I guess that kind of says that Owens is pretty much done with NXT. He might have a rematch at TakeOver and then be done with it. And that's probably a good thing. I think, personally, I would have liked to have seen Balor up by now. I don't know when they're going to bring Balor up, but I guess giving him the NXT Championship generally means that he's going to be the next guy called up. I mean, how many times have we seen that with Seth Rollins, Bo Dallas? Sami Zayn was probably a bit of an exception to the rule. I mean, Neville as well got called up. And then Owens. Well, Sami Zayn would have been probably called up. I honestly think Sami Zayn would be in Kevin Owens' position right now, feuding with Cena. Maybe not. Maybe that feud would have ended by now, but doing something on the main roster if he didn't get injured. And probably Owens would still be champion by now. But hey, things change. So, it probably changed for the better. I actually prefer Kevin Owens over Sami Zayn anyway. So, like I said, Beast in the East, good show. I mean, there was a 30-minute tag team match for the main event. I did not watch that shit. Cena and Ziggler versus Kane and Bad News Barrett. No, thank you. I didn't watch that. I watched the finish. And Cena, I think... Spoiler alert. Cena gave an attitude adjustment to Barrett, I think, and won. Rightfully so. Expected. That's why I didn't watch it, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. It was going to be a long match, and then Cena was just going to win. And that's exactly what happened. So I didn't waste my time watching it, especially because it is a house show. It's quote unquote, it's a house show, a televised house show, and that's what most house show matches are like. So the babyfaces generally always win. So why you don't really need to watch a house show match. You know, you go there, you watch the good stuff, and you leave. So that was the Beast in the East pay-per-view, or special show, whatever you want to call it. And that's pretty much it. You know, we've got a lot of fan questions, like I said, we're going to get into. We're going to quickly touch on what is Brendan playing this week before we get there. First up. Alright, so an interesting week in gaming for me. Now, I've had a bit of a mixed week. This week I've been quite busy doing a lot of videos, so I haven't really played a lot of games. So last week I got 3 platinums, so last week was huge. You know, I had a big week in gaming and I went hard, but this week, a bit more of a quiet one. I actually got a chance to play Mortal Kombat. My friend brought it over and I got to play Mortal Kombat X for the first time, and the game's pretty cool. The fatalities are pretty sick. I mean, the game is pretty fun. Like, I'm not a fighting style game. I suck at these games. I do enjoy them to a degree, but I do suck at them. But I did have a lot of fun playing Mortal Kombat. I thought it was good. I played with pretty much every character, and still Scorpion is my favorite, but I really enjoyed playing that, so I may pick it up later on, especially if it goes a bit cheaper. I definitely might pick it up, but yeah, really good game, that one. Played a lot of NBA and Madden this week as well, so a bit of sport games this week. I played some competitive with some friends, so I played that, and that was a lot of fun, and very competitive and quite heated. And other than that, really, I started playing God of War Ascension again. I dusted off the old PS3 and I started playing that one more time. I really didn't give Ascension much of a chance. I really didn't enjoy it. I got through 5 chapters and then I stopped playing it. Now I think I'm on chapter 14. I'm close to finishing the game, and it's not too bad. It's obviously not as good as God of War 3 or the other ones. I think this one's probably the least exciting in the series for me, but still, it's God of War. You know what you're going to get from God of War, and God of War is always a good experience, always a lot of fun. So I'm slowly getting my way through Ascension, and I think I'll definitely be platinuming that, and that might probably be my next platinum. And I just got done a moment ago before I started this podcast. I started playing Rocket League, which is a new PlayStation Plus game, and that was out for free. So I downloaded that, and this game, holy crap, this game is fun as hell. I've already got 34% of the trophies on it, and I got like 6 trophies in 20 seconds on the game. So if you're a trophy hunter, pick it up and you get some easy trophies. But this game was just a lot of fun. So obviously what it is that you're in a remote controlled car, a little RC car, and you're driving around and you have to hit this big ball and hit it in between the goals. It's basically soccer or football with, instead of playing as a human kicking the ball around, you're a car and you have to hit the ball into the goals with the car. It sounds really, I don't know, pretty basic, but it is really, really fun. It's pretty exciting, and the environments and the way it looks, the graphics are pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I definitely recommend it. Obviously, it's a free game on PlayStation if you have PlayStation Plus, so it's free. So who doesn't like free things? So pick it up, play it. It's really fun. And I haven't played it with friends yet, but I tell you what, this game's going to be a lot of fun with some friends. So I'm really looking forward to getting 3 friends along and playing a game with them, and I think it'll be a hell of a lot of fun. So that is my plan, and I'll probably hear from me next week talking about this game and talking about how I did play with some friends or whatever, and I think I probably will platinum this game, maybe even next week. It's a pretty easy platinum. I mean, it's a bit of a grind at some points, but for the most part, pretty doable, so I think I'll probably have this platinum sometime next week, so definitely really, really enjoying it, and that's pretty much my gaming week this week. Obviously, played some PS2 as well, and, I played some WWE doing some videos, but that's all business, baby, and this is my leisure time playing these other games, and I had a lot of fun. So that's pretty much that for what is Brendan playing, and like I said earlier on, we have a lot of fan questions, and that will pretty much take up the rest of the show. So, well, I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and start the voicemails.
Do you think we will see a Seth Rollins Triple H match at SummerSlam?
That one came from Mike Adams, by the way, and I don't think this match will happen, because I think if they were going to do this one, Seth Rollins would have to turn babyface, and I just think at this point, if you turn Seth, then who the hell do you have as a heel? Who the hell is Seth going to feud with? Who the hell are the top heels? Because there'd be none. There'd be nobody. I mean, Bray Wyatt would be the only heel left in the company, so I mean, they can always drag this on and do it later, and I think that's definitely a possibility. Maybe, I doubt it's Survivor Series, because that pay-per-view sucks naudays. I mean, they could drag it on to WrestleMania, we hope not, but definitely, I think the best way to go about it is if Seth Rollins fails, then the Authority gets someone else, perhaps Kevin Owens, and they bring Kevin Owens in, and he succeeds, and he's doing better than Seth, and he gets the championship, and he's the new golden boy, and Seth Rollins gets jealous, gets pissed off, and then Triple H starts treating Seth like shit, blah, 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 and then you go on and have a feud. There's been a few seeds planted, obviously, Seth having to face Lesnar is thanks to the Authority, but there really isn't enough right now to warrant a feud. So if you're going to do one, let it build out and let there be a bit of a story behind it, not just a rush match. Okay, we need a match for SummerSlam, let's do this kind of thing. Let's make it organic, and let's make it mean something.
Hello, my name is John, and I'm from Ireland. Brendan, my question is, what's your thoughts on the tag team division lately? Thank you.
Well, John, look, at the moment, the tag team division is struggling because we don't have that many teams. This is why I've seen the Lucha Dragons getting pushed all of a sudden, because Tyson, Kidd, and Cesaro are no longer a team. The Usos are currently out. Rowan and Harper are also out as well. So 3 teams that would definitely be ahead of the Lucha Dragons are all gone. So you're going to see teams like Lucha Dragons and Los Matadors, and probably the Ascension being used when we probably wouldn't see them normally. And it's probably another reason why the Primetime Players are getting pushed as well, because who else? Who else is going to be the New Day for the titles? I'm sure Cesaro and Kidd and the Usos would have been in amongst the New Day, definitely, but they're not there. And, I mean, I guess the plan probably would have been for the New Day to drop the titles to Primetime Players and then have Rowan and Harper come along and beat the Primetime Players for the titles. But now, there is no Rowan and Harper. So who the hell is going to be the primetime players for the titles? I mean, there's really nobody else other than, New Day. So are we going to see those two teams trade the titles back and forth? I don't know. But other than that, who else really is there? They don't really have many teams at the moment. So the tag division is struggling. I mean, can we make the Ascension actually not a joke and start to build and push these guys? Perhaps. It's an option, but I don't think they're going to do that. So I don't know who's going to be the next top heel in the tag division. I really don't know. So the tag division is up in the air. I think they really don't know what's going to be next for it themselves. So it's not looking good. The tag division hasn't been looking good in the last couple of years, and it's a common trend in the WWE, and it's just not looking much better at the moment.
So, Brendan, how do you feel about Ryback? How do you feel about him and his title picture? And do you think he's worth doing the title picture he's doing now? Or do you think he should be in the WWE Championship picture, World Championship picture? And if you can't tell my accent, I'm Crims from the forums, and I'm from Kansas of the USA.
Crims from the forums. Well, look, how do I feel about Ryback as champion? As you guys know, I like Ryback. I'm a big fan of Ryback. I think he's people ask me all the time, who's my favorite wrestler? It's Ryback. Ryback's my favorite. Him being a champion is a relief. I'm glad he's a champion. I just think this whole Big Show and Miz thing, every single week, you know what's going to happen. This match on Raw, we knew that Miz was going to interfere. We knew it was going to be a fuck finish. So his matches just there's no point in investing your time into them right now because you know how it's going to end, and it's just going to come along to a DQ finish, and that sucks. We don't want to see that every week. Plus, he's feuding with the Big Show. Now, mind you, I am kind of enjoying the Ryback and Big Show confrontation. The Miz, he's been okay, but just the whole interfering all the time is just a bit annoying. But I think Ryback as a champion is a good thing. I hope he gets a long title reign, really gets a chance to have feuds with a lot of different types of guys. And, a Dolph Ziggler, a Rusev, maybe bring back Luke Harper and, all these different types of guys and have these feuds and let Ryback really have a chance to show what he can do as a champion. I think this is Ryback's big chance. If he succeeds as champion, gets himself over, which, the chant is definitely over, but when Ryback comes out, he doesn't get a big ovation. But when he's doing the chant, people are always doing it. But to me, a chant doesn't represent how over you are. When you come out and you get a big pop, and then yes, but not many people get a pop nowadays. Not many people really get a reaction, and that's for a whole different story of why I think that is the case. But obviously, that's because fans are different right now, and maybe next time I'll spend some more time on why I think wrestling in terms of crowd reaction is on the downfall and probably will never return to how it was back in the 90s when everyone was screaming and going crazy. We won't see that anymore. But if it's a good moment, we will. But for the most part, we won't. So people nowadays in this current era are all into chants. So when there's a chant going on, everyone's going to get involved. But when people come out to the ring, they don't really... They'll get an applause or whatever. They won't go nuts. But when there's a chant, they'll all like to get involved. Just look at the yes chant, for example. So I definitely think Ryback as a champion has a lot of potential. I just think they need to give him the ball and give him a chance to run with it. They've given him the ball now. How long will he be able to run with it? Can he run 20 yards? Or can he run 50 yards? Or can he go the whole way and score the touchdown? I don't know. But I'm hoping they give him a chance. Otherwise, well, maybe he'll be back in the tag division doing absolutely fucking nothing.
Hi, Brendan. This is Dylan. I am from New York. And here is my question for you. What is your favorite feud that you have created in your WWE Universe mode? It could be from WWE 2K14, 2K15, or from 13. Any of those games. What was your favorite? Anyway, by the way, I love the show. All of them. So.
Well, Dylan, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that one. It's good to have a universe mode question. Look, my go-to has always been The Rock versus Randy Orton. That's always been my go-to, and you know that some people say I have an obsession with that feud. Obviously, they had 4 matches against each other, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I think that was probably the best feud that I've had. I put the most thought, the most storylines, the most continuity into that feud. as I possibly could. That feud had like a year's worth of planning. I planned it all out. I knew what I was going to do. I knew that's where I wanted to go, and I thought that storyline would be great. And for the most part, I think it turned out pretty good. I think everything that I really wanted to happen kind of happened. I didn't expect Seth Rollins to win the championship from The Rock when he did at Night of Champions, so that kind of threw off my plans there, but that was fine. I mean, Seth Rollins has been a very good champion since then, so I'm completely happy with that. And now The Rock has kind of moved away from Universe Mode for the time being. But another one of my favourite feuds probably was Randy Orton versus Triple H, or The Authority versus Randy Orton. I really enjoyed that as well, so definitely Randy Orton's had some great moments in Universe Mode, I think so. And I guess that kind of ties in with The Rock a little bit as well. And recently as well, I know we've had Sting and The Undertaker feuded out, and their rivalry's just begun, and we haven't seen the match yet. You know, if they will have a match at WrestleMania. I mean, Sting called out to Undertaker to see if there will be a match. So, if that happens, then I think that feud will be really, really good as well. I think it will go down as one of the best as well, because I'm really enjoying what has happened so far. You know, Sting beating up Taker a couple of times. You know, Taker's now out of action. Will Taker return? Will he accept? We don't know. If he does return, it'll be very, very exciting. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And as well as that, Undertaker and Jericho, I thought was a good feud. It didn't last. Well, actually, no, it did last for a while. I mean, it had the WrestleMania one, and they brought it back at Hell in a Cell, and I thought that was good. So I enjoyed that as well. And I think as well, if Christian and Chris Jericho finally get their hands on each other, I think we might see that as a good feud. But to answer your question, gun to the head, my favourite one is definitely Rock versus Randy Orton, because that one probably went for the longest and had the most build up towards those matches. But I definitely think a few feuds in the future could certainly surpass that or get close.
Hello, Brendan. This is Jamie from Ireland, also known as Jawmeister on the forums, and I'd like to know, what are your thoughts on Kurt Angle being diagnosed with a neck tumour?
Well, Jamie, look, I mean, it's always pretty bad to see a guy get diagnosed with anything, but obviously Kurt has had a lot of neck issues throughout his career, so anything involving his neck is always a worry. I don't think it's a big deal at the moment. I think he's just got something he has to get done with his neck, so I don't think it really is a tumour. I think it's going to be okay, so he should be back in the ring soon enough. But I think, was it the case that because of that injury, they had to postpone his match with EC3? Was that the reason why they did it on Impact instead of Slammiversary? Was that the reason? Because if it was, well then, you know, awful idea. But well, I mean, I guess fair enough. But it sucked. I mean, you always. That's the thing with TNA. They always have a lot of big matches. They'll have title matches that should be on the pay-per-view. They do it on Impact. That was always the strange thing to me. Like, there's so many matches they could do on these special shows. They do it beforehand or after it. It's like, why? You have a pay-per-view or a free TV pay-per-view. Why don't do the big matches on that show? That always just baffled me, what with TNA. It's some of the dumb shit they do. That's one of them. But I'm hoping Kurt has a speedy recovery. Obviously, I think he's going to be fine, which is good news. So I think we'll see Kurt in the ring pretty soon.
Hey, it's Bailey14 from the forums, or Bailey from the United States. And my question to you, Brendan, is, once TNA is done, and all their wrestlers are out in the open market, which wrestlers do you think WWE will sign? And which wrestlers do you wish WWE would sign? Thanks.
Well, it's good to see Bailey still using his potato as a microphone. But look, TNA, are they done? Yes. TNA is all but done at the moment. Who would I like to see WWE sign? Obviously, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy. Austin Aries has just left the company. I would like to see them give Austin Aries a go in NXT. Do I think he'll go further than NXT? I don't know. I mean, his size is, I think he's like 5'8" or something, so his size is certainly against him. I think they also will get EC3 back. I mean, EC3 is the one guy in TNA that I say this guy has potential. He's the only guy in TNA I see that could lead the company to something good and could have that has potential to be a star. TNA's own star. I think he has the potential, but unfortunately for him, TNA is just so bad right now, and it's too late for him that it doesn't matter what he does, it won't help. It doesn't matter what the company does, it won't help him. Eventually, he just has to ride it out, and I think you'll find he'll probably be TNA's last champion. But who would I like to see sign? Pretty much all those guys. I mean, EC3 is my number one. I don't know if they will get Kurt Angle back. That's the thing. I think they will get him back as a Legends deal, but I don't know if he'll get back as a wrestler. I would like to see him come back for a match. I think Jeff Hardy will probably be the first guy they get back, obviously. And really, no, there's really not many others. I mean, I like Bobby Lashley, and I wouldn't mind seeing him back in the company, but I really doubt that will ever happen, and I think his age is very much against him right now, so there really is no real point to it. Bobby Roode, yeah, I do like Bobby Roode again, but his age is up there. I mean, an NXT run would be cool. I just don't see it happening. So, really, if I had to pick three guys, Angle, Hardy, EC3.
Hey, Brendan. Just one quick question. Do you actually think Neville will for once get into a championship picture at least once in his career? Because he hasn't done much.
First of all, that was hilarious. Who are you talking to? I pretty much played that question alone just to hear that back. But Neville, hasn't he already been in title picture? I mean, like, pretty much, it was in Money in the Bank. That pretty much is a title picture. I mean, Neville just debuted like 3 months ago. The guy is going to win multiple IC titles. Maybe even a US title as well. Either one. He's going to be a champion a number of times. So, yes, he's going to be a champion. He's going to be in title matches at some point. But I just thought that was funny. Who are you talking to? Okay, now we've finished up on our voicemails. Let's get into some of our questions left on the forums and on the YouTube channel. So this first one comes from John Moynihan. I hope I got that one right. What's your thoughts on Stone Cold Steve Austin being on the cover of WWE2K16? So I was quite vocal about this on Twitter. I mean, Austin on the cover, to me, I think that was a bad call. I think it should be someone in the main roster right now. I think they need to start focusing on current day superstars. I mean, I know Austin is still an attraction to other or casual wrestling fans, so I can see the point of it, but I just feel as though you have Brock Lesnar. I still think Brock Lesnar right now, in my opinion, if I was making the game, he would be on my cover. So I get the feeling that obviously they're going to have a big showcase on Stone Cold in the game. So he's going to be a pivotal point in the game. So it kind of makes sense that he's on the cover, but to me, I would have had Stone Cold on the special edition cover, and then I would have Brock Lesnar on the regular edition. So you have Brock Lesnar, who has one of the most impressive years in the WWE. He beat Undertaker's streak, he dominated Cena, won the WWE Championship, and held it up until WrestleMania. He main evented WrestleMania. He didn't technically lose. He's been undefeated for the last couple of years now. He's dominating, and they didn't give him the cover. I just feel as though Brock Lesnar still has that mainstream appeal. He's still a badass, and I think him on the cover would have did better than Stone Cold. But look, at the end of the day, it is a cover. It doesn't really matter. I mean, as long as the game is good. I mean, does anybody really care that John Cena's on the cover of the game? I don't really care. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, sure, Cena, whatever. But after a week, I probably won't give a shit anymore, but I don't think it really matters all that much, but I just feel as though, for me, I would have had Austin. I mean, I would not have had Austin on it, I would have had Lesnar on it. Next one comes from Tage Cooper. His question is, if Kevin Owens was to lose the US Championship match with Cena at Battleground, would he make a good opponent for Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the future? Well, no, because both men are heels, so we know WWE logic. Two heels cannot feud with each other, so no, not at the moment, but definitely Kevin Owens is going to be in the title picture at some point, but it probably won't be for a while. I think Kevin Owens will win the US Championship. I think he will hold the US Championship for a while, and then eventually he'll drop the championship and move up into the main event. I don't know when that will be, but sometime later on this year I can expect it to happen. Who knows, maybe even Kevin Owens could be a bit of a smoky to win the Royal Rumble. But that would be a big year for Kevin Owens if he did do that. Next one from Joe Levy. Is Jack Swagger on your shit list? And if it was not for the marijuana incident, do you think he would have won the World Championship at WrestleMania 29? Well, Jack Swagger is so irrelevant that he cannot be on the shit list, because he is that irrelevant. He's on the I don't give a fuck list, but if he was around more often, he probably would be on the shit list, because I really have no interest in seeing him whatsoever. I don't see any value in him at all. And honestly, like I said, I don't see anything in him. I'm glad he didn't win the World Championship, but would he have won? I think probably yes. I think he had some momentum. I think he was doing pretty good. And back then, I think I was actually enjoying Jack Swagger a little bit, surprisingly. But I just think, as it turned out, he did the whole what he did, and, he's never going to win after that. So, dumb move from Swagger. Who knows? He could have been a lot better. I mean, had Zeb Coulter by his side. They had the Real American thing going on. It was working. But, it's his own dumb fault, I guess. I don't know, but I feel as though the way they were headed, probably he would have won. And I think, Alberto Del Rio turned babyface, and, he was having that horrible babyface run, and then he lost the championship to Dolph Ziggler the next night. So, I guess as it turned out, it wasn't really that big of a loss anyway. I mean, they did the Money in the Bank cash, and so maybe they won. Maybe he wouldn't have won. Maybe they were going with that route the whole time. I doubt it, but you never know with the WWE. Next up, from Johnny Dixon. What is your favorite WWE theme song? Well, favorite theme song of all time or favorite current theme song? My favorite current theme songs, I love Goldust theme. That's always been one of my favorites. I think that theme is amazing. But Sheamus' new theme has really grown on me as well. I really like that theme. I think that's cool. Also, Finn Balor's theme is fantastic. Dean Ambrose's theme always pumps me up. A couple of old favorites. I love Triple H's The Game. I love Undertaker's theme. He's American Badass and his current one. I loved Kane's first theme. The Rock's got a couple of good themes. There's been a lot of great themes. I mean, good themes have been quite rare to see in current day WWE. I think they haven't got a lot of good themes, but some of these newer guys coming through do have some decent themes, and it's good to see that we still have some good ones here, but some people really have some bad ones. There is a lot of bad ones at the moment, but there's still, thankfully, a few good ones out there. But yeah, that's just a few. I can't really give you a definite favourite, but there's a few that I like. This one from Amir Khan. With the Royal Rumble coming up in Universe Mode, is it going to be a 30-man or 40-man Royal Rumble? And who is your pick as of now? Well, I think it's going to be 30-man. Last year we did 40-man, of course, but we had such a big roster last year, we had to do 40-man. There was just no way we could fit everyone in otherwise. This year, it will definitely be a 30-man Royal Rumble. I think this year is going to be still jam-packed and really, really good, so I'm really looking forward to it. My picks right now, well, you look at the moment who is looking really good. I mean, we've got Dolph Ziggler, he's on fire. Dean Ambrose is on fire. Rusev is starting to pick it up. Those three, I think, are a big, big chance. Daniel Bryan, he's due for a big win. Roman Reigns has been getting close, but no cigar. Ryback's always been good. So, I think there's a few of those guys. I think one of them will probably take it out. But, yeah, I think it's going to be very, very exciting. There's a lot of potential winners, and that's how a Royal Rumble always should be. I think it's always good when there's a lot of different winners that could possibly win. You know, when you go into a Royal Rumble and there's always one guy that you go, yeah, this guy's definitely winning, and it happens, it kind of sucks. I mean, Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble in real life, you know, when he won, we all knew he was going to win, so it was kind of like, not so good. But Universe Mode is probably 10 different guys that could honestly have a good chance of winning it. This next one is from Bashka. What do you think of WWE not doing much for Ambrose? Well, the thing with WWE is that whenever Brock Lesnar is around, Ambrose becomes absolutely irrelevant. I mean, look at last year. When Lesnar was around, Ambrose was doing absolutely nothing. When Lesnar leaves, all of a sudden he's feuding with Seth Rollins. I mean, he's main eventing pay-per-views, doing so well. And then you look at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar comes back, and then Ambrose is thrown into the IC title match doing nothing. And then when Lesnar leaves after WrestleMania, all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose is in the main event of all these pay-per-views again. When Brock Lesnar comes back for Battleground SummerSlam, all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose is not on the card. What is going on? I mean, is Lesnar Dean Ambrose's Achilles heel? Are we going to get an Ambrose and Lesnar match? I mean, that would be good. I mean, Ambrose coming out and calling out Lesnar saying, "You're taking my spot." So it just seems as though it's a common thing right now. Whenever Lesnar's around, they can't book Ambrose. I think Ambrose is a guy they're going to use when, you know, they've got nobody else, and when they do have someone else, well, then they'll use them. They won't use Ambrose. So I think you'll find it will probably end up with a freaking Ambrose versus Kane match, or an Ambrose versus Bo Dallas match, something stupid at the pay-per-view that nobody will give a fuck about. So That's just the way it is. It's amazing how you can go from main eventing to main eventing to main eventing to absolutely nothing. And just like that. It's amazing. Final question today comes from the back of 7. Thoughts on the Wyatt and Reigns feud up until this point. I touched on it last week, the week before, how Bray Wyatt was getting creepy. So a fortnight ago, Bray Wyatt was getting creepy. Last week, they didn't really do that much with it, and this week was pretty much the same. You know, Bray Wyatt is always a bit of the same, isn't he? I think this feud has a lot of potential, and they could have gone a lot further with it and really made it really, really dark and creepy, but they just don't want to do it. They just haven't done that, and I guess, you know, they missed an opportunity to really make this feud something really, really good for both men. Really personal for Reigns. I honestly thought they should have gotten the daughter out there and just had Bray Wyatt be this creepy guy, kidnap the daughter and trying to get at Reigns for whatever reason. I don't even know. For taking his title opportunity, and you know, now Bray Wyatt's going to take something away from Roman Reigns. You know, it's I know it's kind of messed up, and you know, with a PG environment, people say, "Oh, look at this guy, he's a pedophile or something like that, or he's messed up." Well, yeah, I mean, he's not a pedophile, but this guy's just deranged. He'll do anything to get under the skin of his opponent, and if he has to make it personal, then he will. I mean, it's not that difficult. You know, they could have done something more that I just feel as if the WWE are too afraid to do anything, and the WWE don't want any bad press right now. They're just so PC at the moment. They just need to be politically correct, do all the right things, and just smile and shake hands right now. And they don't want to take any risks. They don't have to take any risks. They don't want to. They're just happy just to keep, you know, going along with the punches right now and just, you know, keep rolling in the money and not really do much. You know, the product isn't going to get any better, and probably, if anything, will just get worse. Alright, so that will do it for our questions this week for Let's Talk Tuesdays. Of course, again, if you want to leave a question for next week's episode, you can do it by leaving a comment in this episode's Let's Talk Tuesdays video. And of course, if you want to go on the forums as well and leave a question, you can do that. BrendenPlayz.com/forums. There is an official Let's Talk Tuesday thread under the channel discussion under BrendenPlayz on the forums. If you go on and ask someone for help, if you're lost, somebody will direct you to it straight away. Or I will myself. Of course, we had some nice emails this week as well, so I just want to say thanks to everyone that submitted some emails to me this week. So I thought that was really nice that you guys were giving me a bit of fan mail, a bit of love on the email, so that was nice. My final thoughts, of course, yeah, if you want to submit a voicemail, I think it was really cool. The voicemails have been really good so far. I apologize to some people who didn't get their voicemail played. That was because I already had kind of answered your question early on the show, or somebody else already asked the same question. So, and some people have some really bad mic quality as well. So if I can't hear your question because your mic is so bad, unfortunately, I'm not going to play it. So if you can have a decent mic to submit a question, that'd be great. Bailey, you just get a pass, my friend. Your potato, you can need to upgrade that. Make it more sweet. But anyways, I really appreciate all the voicemails coming in, and I think it's a really cool part of the show now. So I think definitely will continue doing that in the future. And if you want to submit a voicemail, BrendenPlayz.com, on the right-hand side of the page, there's a big button, and you can submit your voicemail for next week's episode. That's pretty much it from me. Remember to follow me on Twitter at BrendenPlayz. Please like the Facebook page as well, BrendenPlayz Official. I'm really starting to post a little bit more on Facebook, getting more active on that. A lot of people message me on that as well. I try to get as many messages as I can and reply to them. I do get a lot, actually, so I can't get to them all, but I try and get to as many as I can. I appreciate everyone that's been submitting questions there. And yeah, so TLC coming out this week, so looking forward to that. I hope you guys do enjoy that. Make sure you let me know on Twitter and in the comment section on the TLC video your thoughts on the video. And make sure you leave a comment on this episode. You can leave a question here, but also just give your thoughts and opinions on everything that I talked about today on this week's Let's Talk Tuesday. Alright, so that's it from me. I hope you guys enjoy your week, and I'll see you all next Tuesday.